Good day everyone, I am Mr. Ace Joshua Ciabella and I'm here to help you solve problems involving equations and inequalities in one variable. Before proceeding to this topic, I need you to have this one set of skills. So first is addition, subtraction property of equality, multiplication, division property of equality, and translation of expressions. And if you have this following set of skills, then you're good to go. So first, let us define equations and inequalities in one variable. Equations and inequalities in one variable means that the variable involved in equation and inequality is in degree 1 or has an exponent of 1. Next, let us define an equation. An equation is a statement that two algebraic expressions are equal. An example equation: 5x minus 8 is equal to 3x plus 2. 5x minus 8 is the left side, 3x plus 2 is the right side, and then we have the equal sign. An equal sign is used always in an equation. Next is an inequality. An inequality is a statement that two algebraic expressions are not equal. We have an example: 5x minus 8 is less than 3x plus 2. Obviously, 5x minus 8 is the left side, and then 3x plus 2 is the right side, and then we have the inequality symbol. In an inequality, we can use different symbols. We have not equal to, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and then greater than or equal to. So let's try to solve problems involving equations in one variable. So I have here 3 sample problems. Problem number 1 is a log measuring 100 meters is cut into 2 parts. And if the first part is twice as long as the second part, how long is the second part? Number 2 is a boy is 24 years younger than his father, and in 2 years' time the sum of their ages will be 40. How old is the father and how old is the son now? Number 3 is an isosceles triangle has a perimeter of 345 centimeters and a base length of 85 centimeters. What is the length of each leg? So how do we solve this problem? I'm going to give you 5 easy steps for you to solve this problem. So step number 1 is to determine what is being asked. Number 2 is to represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. Number 3 is to create an equation. 4, solve the equation and answer the question asked by the problem. And then lastly, you have to check your answer. So let's try to solve problem number 1. A log measuring 105 meters is cut into 2 parts, and if the first part is twice as long as the second part, how long is the second part? So step number 1, determine what is being asked. So the problem asks how long is the second part. So step number 2, represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. The unknown quantity is the first part is twice as long as the second part, and we let the second part be equal to x, therefore the first part is equal to 2x. Step number 3, create an equation. Our equation will be 2x plus x is equal to 105, since 2x is the measure of the first part with the second part, and that is equal to the log measuring 105 meters. Step number 4, solve the equation and answer the question asked by the problem. So we have to solve for the value of x. Our equation is 2x plus x equal to 105. That will be 3x is equal to 105. We use the division property of equality. We divide both sides by 3, and then we get x equals 35. And if x equals 35, our second part, which is also x, is equal to 35 meters. And our second part, which is equal to 2x, will be 2 multiplied to 35, and that is 70 meters. Therefore, the length of the second part is 35 meters. So step number 5 is to check our answer. Then we use our equation, which is first part plus the second part is equal to 105 meters, or 2x plus x is equal to 105 meters, and then substitute the values of x becomes 70 meters plus 35 meters equals 105 meters, and that is 105 meters equal to 105 meters, and that is true. Therefore, our answer is correct. Next, problem number 2. A boy is 24 years younger than his father, and in 2 years' time, the sum of their ages will be 40. How old is the father and how old is the son now? Step number 1. Determine what is being asked. The problem asks how old is the father and how old is the son now. Step number 2. Represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. In this case, we have two unknown quantities. So the first unknown quantity is a boy is 24 years younger than his father. So we'll let the father's age be x years. Therefore, the son is x minus 24 years old, since he is 24 years younger than his father. The second unknown quantity, in 2 years' time, the sum of their ages will be 40. So in 2 years' time, after 2 years, so we can just add 2 to their present ages. So the father's age becomes x plus 2, and the son's age becomes x minus 24 plus 2. So step number 3 is to create an equation. Our equation will be father's age after 2 years plus the son's age after 2 years equals to 40. So step number 4 is to solve the equation and answer the question asked by a problem. So you have to solve for the value of x, then our equation, simplify. So the quantity of x plus 2 plus the quantity of x minus 22 equals 40, and that becomes 2x minus 20 equals 40. Then we use the addition property of equality. That becomes 2x is equal to 60, and then division property of equality. Divide both sides by 2. That becomes x equals 30. Therefore, the father's age now is 30 years old. And then the son's age now is 30 minus 24, and that is 6 years old. Therefore, the present age of the father is 30 years old, and the present age of his son is 6 years old. Step number 5 is to check our answer. So we use our equation. Father's age after 2 years plus son's age after 2 years equals 40. So we have 30 plus 2 equals 30 years old, and then 6 plus 2 equals 8 years old equals 40. So we have 32 plus 8 equals 40, and 40 is equal to 40. Therefore, the equation is true. So our answer is also correct. So, third problem. An isosceles triangle has a perimeter of 45 centimeters and a base length of 85 centimeters. What is the length of each leg? So step number 1, determine what is being asked. So the problem asks, what is the length of each leg? Step number 2 is represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. So in an isosceles triangle, two sides are equal and they are called legs, and the third side is called base. Since the perimeter of a triangle is just the sum of its sides, then in an isosceles triangle we can just use the perimeter is equal to side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3, or leg plus base. So we let the length of a leg equal to x. Therefore, since it is an isosceles triangle, the length of the other leg is also x. So step number 3 is to create an equation. We have the leg plus base equals perimeters, which is x plus 85 equals 345. Step number 4 is to solve the equation and answer the question asked by our problem. Solve for the value of x. Then we have the equation. That will be 2x plus 85 equals 345. Subtraction property of equality, that becomes becomes 2x is equal to 260 in division property of equality. Divide both sides by 2 and we get x is equal to 130. Therefore, our first leg is equal to 130 and also our second leg is equal to 130. Therefore, the length of the first leg and the second leg is 130 centimeters. Step number 5 is to check our answer. So we have our equation. 130 plus 130 plus 85 equals 345. And then 345 is equal to 345. And that is true. Therefore, our answer is correct. So let's proceed to problems involving inequalities in one variable. So we now proceed to inequalities. So I have another 3 set of problems, and then we're gonna solve these 3 set of problems. So in solving problems involving inequalities in one variable, so I have here another 5 easy steps. It's just the same as the first 5 steps, but there are some modifications. So step number 1 is to determine what is being asked. Step number 2 is to represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. And 3, create an inequality, since we are talking about inequalities. Step number 4 is to solve the inequality and answer the question asked by the problem. And you have to change the signs with multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number. Changing the signs means that you need to use the opposite of the sense if you are multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number. So number 5 is to check your answer. So let's try to solve problem number 1. The length of a rectangle is twice its width, and if the perimeter is between 10 meters and 22 meters, what are the possible values of the width? So step number 1, determine what is being asked. It asks what are the possible values of the width. Step number 2, represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. So the unknown quantity, the length of the rectangle is twice its width. So we let the width of the rectangle be equal to 2x. Therefore, the length is equal to 2x. Then create an equation. Our equation will be the perimeter is greater than 10 but less than 22, since it says that the perimeter is between 10 and 22. So step number 4 is to solve the inequality and answer the question asked by the problem. So we have to solve for the value of x. So we have the inequality, and then simplify the inequality. That becomes 6x is greater than 10 but less than 22. And then the division property, divide by 6, and that becomes x is greater than 1.6666666667 but less than 3.6666666667. That is our width. The width is between 1.66666667 and 3.66666667. So the possible values of the width is between that numbers. So step number 5 is to check our answer. So we have to substitute the values of our x, and since the value of x is greater than 1.66666667 and less than 3.66666667, then we should choose numbers between them. So in making the checking as short as possible, we can just use 2 numbers. The one just greater than 1.6667 a little bit, and then the one less than 3.666667 just also a little. So we have our equation, and then I chose 1.7 as the first value, So we have 2 multiplied to 2 quantity 1.7 plus 2 multiplied to 1.7 greater than 10 and less than 22, and that becomes 10.2 is greater than 10 but less than 22, and that is correct. So second number, or we have our equation, and then the second number, which is 3.6. Then we have 21.6 is greater than 10 but less than 22, and that is also correct. Therefore, our answer is correct. So next problem. Miss Treble charges her music students $25 per lesson, plus a recital fee of $50. How many lessons can a student take if she pays no more than $175? So step number 1, determine what is being asked. It asks how many lessons can a student take if she pays not more than $175. Step number 2 is to represent the unknown quantity using a represented variable. So we don't know how many lessons can a student take, so we can represent the charge for number of lessons be $25 x. So create an equation. Our equation will be the $25 multiplied to how many number of lessons plus the recital fee is less than or equal to $175, since it says not more than or no more than $175. So we have $25 x plus $50 is less than or equal to $175. Step number 4 is to solve the inequality and answer a question asked in the problem. So we have to solve the value for x, and then we have our inequality, and that becomes $25 x is less than or equal to 175 minus $50. That becomes 25x less than or equal to 125, and then division property, and x is less than or equal to 5, or therefore the number of lessons a student can take if she pays no more than $175 should be 5 lessons or less. The maximum number of lessons she can take, or he can take, is 5 lessons. So step number 5 is to check our answer. So we have to substitute the values of x, and then we have our equation, and then substitute the value. We have 25 multiplied by 5 plus $50. Now I'm used 5 here because 5 is the maximum number of lessons. So that becomes 125 plus $50 is less than or equal to $175, and that becomes $175 is less than or equal to $175. And since they are equal, so the equation or the inequality is correct. Therefore, if we use 6, if we let our x equal to 6, let's try if we can make the inequality correct. So substitute. We have 150 plus 50 is less than or equal to 175, and that becomes 200 is less than or equal to 175. So 200 is not less than 175, but also it is not equal to 175. Therefore, the inequality is wrong, and the number of lessons a student can take cannot exceed 5 lessons. So the values of our x are correct. So next we have problem number 3. Edgar's August profit of $137 was $20 higher than his July profit. What was July's profit? So determine what is being asked. So the problem asks what was July's profit. So step number 2 is to represent the unknown quantity using a representative variable. So the unknown quantity is July's profit. So we let the July's profit be x. And then we have to create an equation. Our equation will be $137 is greater than or equal to $20 more than July's profit. Therefore, we have to solve the inequality and answer the question asked for the problem. So we have to solve for the value of x, and then we have our inequality, and then that becomes $137 minus $20 is greater than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to $117. Therefore, July's profit would be equal or less than $117. So let's try to check if that is correct. So step number 5 is to check our answer. We have to substitute the values of our x. Since it says that x is less than or equal to $117, so we have to substitute the values of our x into our inequality. So we used $117 as the value of our x, since that is the maximum value of our x. So the inequality becomes $137 is greater than or equal to $20 more than $117. That is 137 is greater than or equal to 137. That is correct. So let's try to use another value of our x. So we use $118. So we let our x be $118. So let's try to see if x can be more than $117. So we substitute the values. That becomes 137 is greater than or equal to $20 plus 118. That becomes 137 is greater than or equal to 138. And that is wrong or incorrect. Therefore, the values of our x can be less than $117 or $17 at most. It will never exceed $117. So that is all for solving problems involving equations and inequalities in one variable. So we have our summary. So our steps in solving these kind of problems are just the same in equations and inequalities, but inequalities we just have to change the sense of multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number. And that is all. So if you like my tutorial, give a thumbs up, and then like and subscribe and follow me. Thank you.